We are back at it with part 2 of SojuTalk episode 114, where we discuss recent K-pop news and events, have a visit from Cousin Harold, and give you the state of the nation. Let's get it. All right, news and events from last week. This news broke last week during State of the Nation. We got way more details and developments, so we're going to talk about them. This is some crazy stuff, y'all, so get ready. So, Produce 101 manipulation victims revealed. On November 18th, the trial of appeals was held for the Produce 101 series manipulation case. Previously, PD An received a 2-year sentence plus fine, and CP Kim received a sentence of 1 year and 8 months. Additionally, PD Lee and 5 entertainment agency representatives, who were not named specifically, so we don't know what agencies they're from, also received suspended prison sentences. Through the trial of appeals, the court decided to maintain all of the sentences. So, okay. I like that, number one. Mm-hmm. This is where it gets interesting, obviously. So additionally, during the trial, the court revealed the list of contestants who were eliminated due to the manipulation. And they commented, quote, "The harmed trainees being revealed through a fair criminal trial can be the starting point towards them receiving true compensation for damages." Okay. It was also decided that the contestants who benefited from the manipulation will not be revealed, as they were not aware of the manipulation happening, and revealing their names could cause additional harm to them. I completely agree with that.
Glad.
Same. It would be one thing if they were complicit, but since they weren't, I don't think that we have the right to know, because it would ruin their careers, essentially. All right. Here are the contestants who were eliminated as a result of the manipulation. So this covers all 4 seasons and multiple rounds in many seasons.
Oh, man, yeah.
So in Produce 101 Season 1, so this is when IOI was created, they only really rigged the first elimination. A girl named Soohyun and a girl named Haelin were eliminated during the first elimination, where they probably shouldn't have been. That's all we know there. On Produce 101 Season 2, also known as Broduce, and the season where 101 was created, in the first elimination, Hyunwoo, who was now in the group Limitless, was eliminated. And then the first big one, in the finale, Dongho, also known as Nues's Baekho, should have made the 101 lineup, but they rigged him out of it. As you'll see with a lot of the finale rigging, they gave the actual places, but for this one, they didn't give us what place he actually was. So that's that.
Okay.
In Produce 48, where IZ*ONE was created, they only rigged the finale, but in a big way. So Gaeun was supposed to get 5th place, and Han Cho-won, who was the trainee from Cube Entertainment, was supposed to get 6th place.
Wow.
And lastly, on Produce X101, so this is the season where they created X1, and then the scandal broke a little bit after that. In the first elimination, Anzardi Timothy, I remember him. He was the half-French trainee. He got rigged out of the first elimination. In the third elimination, Gukhyun, who's in Boy, B-O-Y, and then Jinu, so he's the Haenami kid. He's now in Ghost 9. They got screwed over in the third elimination. And then here are some big ones in the finale, right? Gu Jung-mo, who's now in Gravity, should have got 6th place. Jin Hyuk should have got 7th place. And then Gum Dong-hyun should have got 8th place. So let's talk about these riggings first.
Goodness.
Let's start at the top. The first season, not to be like mean to the trainees who got screwed over, but they weren't super notable as far as I remember in the storylines that happened.
Still wrong, but...
Still wrong, though, of course. In the second season, let's first talk about Hyunwoo. So Hyunwoo got eliminated, and you remember Moonbok with his long hair?
Yes.
They had an entire storyline based around Hyunwoo's elimination, where Moonbok was like, "I'm gonna do it for my bro Hyunwoo," and he cried on the stage and things like that. And they rigged that to get to that point.
Faked
the
narrative.
drama.
And then additionally in the finale, we learned that Baekho got screwed out of it, but I'm surprised that we did not see JR's name at this point.
It's true. That's what I was expecting as well for that season.
I think that's a little surprising because we had the storyline that we thought that JR got screwed, Gaon got screwed, and Jin Hyuk, the people who were had leadership skills, all got screwed. But that apparently is not the case. So that I think was a little bit interesting. In terms of Produce 48, I'm a big IZ*ONE fan, but let's be real with each other here. The final rankings were a dumpster fire.
Confusing. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think we were watching. I think Warren and I was working in New York at the time. I don't know where Warren was. I think he was in Michigan.
Yeah.
We were texting during the finale, and at a certain point, there were more kids left than the amount of spaces that we thought were safe, and we thought something was up. I remember us texting back and forth, and turns.
Yeah,
Oh,
I remember I
keep
was
going.
texting you. I remember back. So 48 was the only season I was like actively watching, and I was in the viewer community per se. And at one point, everyone was like, "Wait a minute, something's off." There's too much people left for the amount of seats. Like we enjoyed that some people made it, but like what? How did like? Wait, where's this people? Where are these people gonna fit in? You know, like
You remember at one point, before they announced the last contestant, the 12th place, who ended up being Cheon and Gaon weren't like in the group yet,
Right.
and we were like, something's wrong with this,
Right.
in general.
Yeah.
And then Han Cho-won, she was one of those contestants who was always respected throughout the competition, and she was always borderline to make it, but I didn't realize she got 6th. That's like impressive.
See, my impression with Choan was that she always got a lot of screen time. She had a positive narrative throughout the whole thing, and she was actually very like skilled. She, she had a lot of
vocalist wise,
right. And then like when she rapped for what was that one track? Rumor, right? She was like pretty good too. Like
that
sure,
storyline, man.
But and then she had the whole Marewa thing at the end. Like I was like, this girl is definitely gonna make it.
Well,
And then in the last season, right, Produce X 101,
Right.
the Timothy story is weird. I looked into it, right? If you remember, one of his storylines was that he had a bad attitude, but then it found out that his grandma died or something of that nature, right? That was one of the storylines. People are saying the reason, so don't quote me on this, this is a rumor though. People are saying that he was exposing behind the scenes stuff on Instagram lives during the show, and that's why they kicked him off. That's what I was reading on some gossip circles. I can't confirm that, but like it's adding some complexity to this.
Dang.
The third elimination, Gukhyun and Jinu, also known as Henami. I remember when Henami got out, everyone was shocked. That was like
he was pretty popular.
that was one of Warren's kids during that season. I
Yeah,
remember
that was one of the few kids I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, and then we had the whole Gukhyun Yubin thing going on with the that storyline. Then I think Gukhyun got hurt a little, and then he got eliminated, something like that.
Yeah.
So that was the storyline, and then the finale, Gu Jungmo, Jinhyuk, Donghyun. I'm gonna say obviously the most sus was Jinhyuk not making it, right? And then
Right.
I would also say Gu Jungmo because he had the whole storyline of like he always gets 9th. That's his thing.
Yeah.
He's Gu Jungmo. Gu is 9 in Korean. He always gets 9th. And then Gung Donghyun was the late riser, and we thought he had a decent outside chance of making it, but to know that it's all rigged now, like it's
The
not a good
amount
look.
of manipulation though that happened though on the last season for like, what?
It seems like it got worse and worse over time.
Yeah.
Right. It almost feels like they were trying to play a game and like see when they're getting caught. Like they're like,
far
let's
can they
do it a
go?"
little more. Let's do it a little more this season and see if they catch on or not.
You
Until
would have
we-
thought that after the backlash of the 48 lineup, because everyone thought it was so unbelievable.
Yeah.
People
One
would,
other thing I want to point out, we don't have any of the names of the Japanese trainees from Produce 48 on this list. And if y'all remember, it was a little surprising that we ended up with only 3 Japanese members in IZ*ONE because of how high some of them are ranked throughout the whole season.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is because of legal reasons, because it's crossing national borders or stuff like that, right? Or if there's politics involved. But
Like,
I
I remember-
still think it's kind of weird that some of those kids didn't make it.
Right. Like Miho had like a consistently high ranking. I think at one point she was ranked 2nd, I think.
It was Miho, Miyu, and Miu were the three.
Right. Miu,
high ranking.
and then Miho. Those three were incredibly popular. And then
You know, like, obviously I'm very conflicted. I'm an IZ*ONE fan. I like all 12 kids now, right, in our group. It just leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. And especially because, like, I'll read some of the follow-up that happened, but, like, it's not going to be a smooth ride for IZ*ONE until the end of the group now, for sure, right? Like, it's going to be bumpy, I think.
Yeah.
already I've read a lot of news articles saying like, oh, this is a red light, this is a yellow light for the comeback that's happening in about a couple weeks.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
So here's some of the follow-ups. So shortly after, Mnet stated that they have completed compensation negotiations with some of the Produce 101 trainees affected by the vote rigging and are still negotiating with others. They then stated that they take full responsibility for the overall situation and apologize to the trainees affected, their families, and the viewers for what happened. That's definitely not enough, like...
I want a handwritten letter mailed to me all the way to America. I want it written by An himself with his own pen and pencil.
For some of these kids, like Gan, this is literally a career ender, I think, for the lack of a better term.
It was.
This was like her last shot because, the whole thing with, I believe, Tiara didn't work out all that well.
School.
Oh, After School. That was the group. So, yeah, sorry. Yeah. After School didn't work all that well. And then she was one of the older trainees. So everyone's like, this is her last shot at this. And I think she even said that. And for her to get screwed out of that, I think is despicable.
Yeah.
So Pledis, who was home to Baekho and then I believe Gaon at the time, they stated that they're glad the manipulation that Baekho faced on Produce 101 was revealed even though it was extremely late. They added that they haven't received contact from CJENM regarding compensation yet, and rumors that Baekho voluntarily quit the show are false. The rumors they're referencing stem from a statement from CP Kim, who stated that a trainee in season 2 who did not wish to be in the debut lineup was subsequently eliminated, and because there's only one person who we got that was affected in the finale, people were saying it's Baekho. We might not know everything, to be honest. We might only know what came out specifically, right?
Yeah.
Others affected, including High Entertainment, which now houses Gaon, have also released their own statements, which you could find online, pretty much reiterating similar sentiments. Lastly, Mnet has stated that IZ*ONE will make their comeback as scheduled on December 7th and will attend Mama the day before that on December 6th. In their statement, they also stated what happened is their fault and they will do their best to support IZ*ONE, but yeah, right? SnakeNet is bearing their full force on this one, and it has ripples across the entire industry, I think, right?
Butterfly effect. Look at us now. Jury's in
not great. Do we want to move on to happier things though?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. SM plans for the future. I'm a sucker for some like business documents or when they do conferences where they drop spoilers to us, right? Financial reports. I love all that. So, during a speech at a startup business conference, SM Entertainment's president Lee Sung-soo, we're just going to be calling him Lee for the time being, spoke about some of SM's plans for the future. The first one, the SM Cultural Universe.
Oh boy.
Previously, fans have had their tinfoil hats on. I wrote that. That wasn't in the article. Because the music videos for NCT's Make-A-Wish, Super M's One, and aespa's Black Mamba all seem connected through their cryptic endings.
Right.
Lee stated, quote, "The new world," that was also in quotation marks, that I mentioned earlier is a universe where a story does not involve just one team, but is a large universe shared by all artists that we are working with. We call this the SM Cultural Universe. This is a gradual fulfillment of the virtual world that we first termed and announced as our goal in 2011.
Oh boy. Okay. Is this gonna be Sword Art Online? What is gonna happen here? Okay. Look.
Warren.
This whole cultural universe thing. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna immediately point their fingers towards SM and go, that only make SM do that. Don't do that. But I do want to say they're not the only people in the Korean industry right now, Korean entertainment industry that is going in this direction. It's a lot of variety producers are doing similar things. Like Na Young-suk with his series of variety shows and web variety shows is kind of connecting them all together.
Correct.
Kim Tae-ho PD on Play With You, Hang Out With You,
or something or something to do with UJ Silk, something like that. Yeah.
Right. He also mentioned since early 2010s that he wants to connect things kind of the way Marvel's doing it. There are other varieties that are trying to do it. I think it's a direction in the entertainment industry in general, and it's a game of how well they apply it to their specific field as much as possible. That being said, it's probably the first time we see a music label try to apply it between different labels. Between different artists. Because we've had individual artist stories, right? BTS has their own world, TXT has their own world. These two worlds are not connected. Maybe they will be one day. I don't know.
They could, yeah.
They could, yeah.
They might actually be, and we're just uninformed, to be honest.
Let us know.
Yeah. So I'm a little concerned, but I think I'm kind of excited too. We'll
I
see
mean,
where this goes.
at a minimum, we know it's connecting NCT, Super M, aespa, and BoA, right? At a minimum.
Right.
Um, We'll have to see though. The next one, Red Velvet. They addressed this. That's surprising.
Ooh.
Number one.
Ooh.
So Lee also addressed Red Velvet, stating, quote, "Yes, there was a controversy recently, but regarding that matter, we have already apologized sincerely, and Red Velvet plan on returning with a more mature image soon. We ask for your anticipation, attention, and support."
Okay.
I don't know why you would address it, to be honest.
Interesting.
I guess they're really excited for their new mature image.
Yeah, I think he meant obviously like, I guess in terms of demeanor instead of concept, right?
Oh
Like,
no, I thought you
Oh.
meant they're gonna have wrinkles in the music video. I
all
No.
right. I think it's very interesting that they would mention them and address the controversies. That's
Yeah.
it's a bold move. It's a confident move,
Quite-
honestly.
I mean, quite
right?
vague, right? Like, not really going into
Yeah.
specifics, but interesting.
They're
All right, here's
bulldozing right in.
here's the bomb though. I need to strap in for this one. All right.
All right.
Okay.
NCT, right? Quote, "NCT's model is one where all of these teams expand infinitely. We are planning on expanding NCT into Japan, many other nations and regions of Southeast Asia, America, Europe, Australia, and even Africa eventually. It sounds unbelievable, right? I can't believe it either. But we will fulfill it, and already many trainees who have signed with us are pouring beads of sweat to fulfill what I just discussed. Next year, another big new NCT team plans on debuting, so please look forward to that."
My boys in Antarctica have been discriminated against. Shout out to the South Pole people.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here. So there's two things, right?
Yeah.
First one, NCT units in all of these places around the world.
Wow.
And the second thing that they definitively confirmed a new NCT team again to us, and they're going to be doing it next year, right?
Correct.
Those are two.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
All right, for me, NCT Japan, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
I think. You know, we have Wavy in China, so like into Japan, that makes sense to me. Southeast Asia, I think that's the next biggest K-pop market.
Correct. Yes.
America, that makes sense. After that, we got some interesting things, right? Europe, Australia, and even Africa. Shout out to everyone in those regions, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think anyone could say that they could have predicted NCT Africa, right? Like,
No.
Yeah.
that being said, if
Interesting.
NCT Africa does become a thing, you can quote me on this now. I will be their number one supporter of NCT Africa.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like when you sent this news over chat, I feel like I've heard this kind of iteration towards the beginning of NCT's debut when they were kind of putting out like the whole model and idea concept behind the group and how it would work out in the future. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite gone into that direction so far. The only group that I can like say like, oh, it's very much based on this region would be Wavy, which is based in China.
Yep.
So I feel like very slow progress. I don't know how long it would take to get all of these units based on like where we are now, like 4 years after debut. But yeah.
You know what this signals to me? We ain't getting another like SM Definitive separate boy group. That's what literally this is saying, right?
Nah.
Yeah,
We're
I
getting
guess.
NCT Japan instead.
Because they're saying we're expanding infinitely. So I think that line they said before, like this is our last boy group. They're just double downing on that, right?
Yeah.
And starting with the new unit next year, they were also hinting like we were gonna get subunits of the existing members in NCT, but who knows if it's going to be that or completely new people in another unit.
That's
right?
true. New members.
We really don't know.
I guess you could really say that they're literally limitless.
Haha, yes.
All right. Another
me
thing is,
today.
it might be
Oh,
a more
man.
boyish concept considering Dream got reconfigured, right? And they're not really young anymore. Well, that's not how I want to put it, but you know what I mean, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
that concept isn't really what they're doing anymore, so maybe there is room for that
I mean,
in the future.
it even feels like I'm not even sure if we should call NCT a group anymore, right? Like
It's a
It's a system.
it's a
uh,
thing.
brand,
It's
A
a brand.
brand,
It's a
yes.
brand. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it.
right? Okay.
The last SM news we have, not super related to this, but aespa's debut music video for Black Mamba set a new record for a K-pop group debut with an impressive 21.4 million views in the first 24 hours.
Wow.
Watch the solo fan cams of these girls. the talent level is
Yeah, I saw the live
bananas.
stages.
Particularly, I might not have been impressed with her trailer video in terms of her dancing for Karina, but they picked the right kid for center in terms of danceability. That's all I'll say. Okay. Go watch her fan cams; they're crazy. All right, quick takes now. This one's massive. On Wednesday, November 18th, Big Hit Entertainment officially announced that they have acquired KOZ Entertainment, the agency founded by Zico in 2019. In terms of music agencies now, Big Hit has bought B-Lift, Source, Pledis, and KOZ all under the wider Big Hit labels. I meant to say brought, not bought, but yeah.
It's kind of funny because like I remember a while back that the narrative was like BTS against like Block B and Zico kind of deal. Like I remember like some people mentioning that. I don't know if I quite agree with it, but like I've seen people talk about it that way.
The genre in the beginning,
right? Like the genre thing, and then like people are like, "Oh, these lyrics are talking about each other." I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's a bit of a. I was like, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but like,
yeah.
I do think it's kind of interesting, right? Because Big Hit, ever since they acquired Source and Pledis, on Source, you kind of have seen a shift in the way GFriend puts out music, right?
Yeah. Yep.
They have created their own universe and their plot and their story, and with Pledis, they haven't really done that. For me personally, I have kind of enjoyed everything that comes out of KOZ so far, albeit it's only a single album, yes, but I hope that does not get changed.
Isn't there two artists? It's Zico and Down, right?
Yeah, Down. Dawn.
Yeah.
DVWN,
DVWN.
but it's Dawn because the V's an A apparently. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's a thing.
We'll see
Next,
what happens.
BTS came home winners from the 2020 AMAs.
Oh,
So the
nice.
group took home favorite duo or group pop/rock for the second year in a row, and favorite social artist for the third year in a row. So they seem to have those ones locked up.
Congratulations.
Next, this one's kind of vague, but Blackpink has began to tease something called, quote, Blackpink Around the World, which is speculated to be a major project that is said to start sometime near the end of the year. People think it might be a New Year's concert or something.
Oh.
okay. Well, I have different predictions, sir.
Okay.
I think this is the new ride at Epcot. You're gonna be in a little boat and you're gonna ride around
Blackpink Around the World.
right around the world with the
Oh my
Blackpink
God.
music track.
All right. Next, in terms of globalization, the English version of Twice's "I Can't Stop Me" is set to drop on November 30th at 2 p.m. Korean Standard Time.
Wow.
They will also perform the song on the late show with Stephen Colbert on the same day.
Wow.
So
Stephen
we have been
Colbert.
predicting the globalization of Twice into the Western market. This is the start of it for sure.
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see how this works out. This is kind of exciting.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll have to see because I went to the Twice concert. Let's just say the English was not a chef's kiss yet. They've had about a year and some months to work on it. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Additionally, they don't have an anchor member to just speak in regular interviews unless Mina's improved a little bit more. So I want to see what happens.
I'm
It'll
sure
be
they'll figure
okay.
something out.
Yeah.
I'm obviously JYP will figure it out though, and I have full confidence in the girls because they work hard, obviously. Next, this one was fairly. I think this was yesterday. Zion T will reportedly set up his own one-man agency in January 2021. His contract with the Black Label, which is a YG subsidiary, expires in April of 2021, and that is the same place where Somi is under at the moment. I don't know what this means. I ain't looking through the tea leaves or anything like that, but it is what it is.
He's been working with producers that are outside YG, whereas a couple of years ago he was working a lot with people like Teddy and I can't think of anybody else right now, but that's he's been
In-house,
working with
yeah.
right.
And Teddy, right? He's been working with Teddy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
Teddy.
also Teddy. Yeah.
Teddy. Yeah. Okay.
Also PJ. That's the other person I was thinking about. Yeah.
And Teddy, you forgot that one. But next, on Tuesday, November 17th, TXT's Minisode 1 Blue Hour debuted at number 25 on the Billboard 200. That's
Nice.
a nice accomplishment for them, considering the Billboard 200 is almost completely stateside based. So that's pretty cool. Next, in Hypin has the hype is there. You better be in hype for them. So they recorded over 300,000 stock pre-orders for their debut album Border Day 1 and will debut next Monday on the 30th, and we will be sure to cover it then.
Wow.
Next one, I'm going to need some more context. I don't know if you all know, but the Korean National Assembly has passed a preliminary revision to the Military Service Act, allowing those who, quote, contribute greatly to raising the status and dignity of Korea in the field of popular culture and arts to delay their military enlistment to 30 years old.
Oh?
So this is the equivalent of in America when a bill gets brought up into the House, they like, oh yeah, we'll start to talk about it at least. That's the level it's at already.
Wow. Wow.
So they're saying this is like has a decent shot to pass. And in the actual like wording that all the politicians are saying, they are specifically mentioning BTS is the reason for this.
That's what it seems like.
We'll see.
Senator Chon Yong-gi literally mentioned BTS as an example of celebrities that would benefit a lot from doing the from letting them delay their duties a little further, which would benefit the country's image in general, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's what he
think that
said,
this is an interesting compromise because a lot of people were calling for them just not to go, right? Other people were saying they have to go, like now. This is somewhat in the middle of those two scenarios. I think it's interesting, and I think the thing that Warren sometimes brings up is then what is considered greatly raising the status and dignity of Korea? Like, at what level do you have to be to qualify for this?
Who can qualify later on?
That's something we'll have to see later on if this does pass, for sure. Lastly, over the week, AB6IX, Astra, Uju Sonyo, and CIX have all officially joined the lineup of the new fandom platform Universe, joining fellow artists IZ*ONE, Monsta X, The Boys, Kang Daniel, G-Idol, and ATEEZ.
Willem, my goodness.
Yeah, Willem is not involved in this, dude.
Willem, I thought you were listening to the podcast. I told you to join. What are you doing?
You're going to be on Daum still, bro.
Jesus Christ.
And the thing is, it's like all of their like about same level competitors are all on this now, and they're not.
Well, to be frank, I would say all of these groups are a tier above RP, but
maybe you know how Willem has some relationship with SM. Maybe they're gonna join whatever happens with SM. Maybe that's the play.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Mr. Lee Jung-yup, I'm writing an open letter to you.
Oh my god!
Please do something. I don't want to be left behind, buddy.
Yeah, join Universe or join Weverse
or something, or make your own app,
or declare for your own app, or declare for SM. Do something, right?
I will join Willemnet if that ever happens. I don't know. I'll join whatever, please. Let's move on to comebacks and releases by Warren on November 24th on Tuesday. You have On November 26th on Thursday, you have the pre-debut of Purple Kiss. These names. November 27th on Friday, we have NCT 2020, as well as a collab single from Chungha. On November 30th on Monday, we have the solo debut of Kai, as well as the debut of Enhypen, as well as the fall release comeback from GOT7. In other confirmed release news, we have Taeyeon for December, Chungha single for December 10th, Big Yerin for December 10th, with a full-length album, by the way, Chungha with an album for January 4th. Almost perfect.
The thing about Chungha, she was like dropping teasers and like hints all over the place for the entire week, and at a certain point she's like, yeah, you're getting 3 things, deal with it.
Nice.
Purple Kiss is the new girl group under RBW where Mamamoo at. So that's them.
Interesting.
NCT 2020, we already know the name of the song. I don't know it off the top of my head, but that's the second part of the Residence Part 2.
Correct.
So that's that. Kai's solo debut is very intriguing. I wonder what direction they're going to go with that. He might go like full Michael Jackson on that one, right? There's a possibility.
Yeah.
Mr. MJ, wow.
And then obviously in Hypen, GOT7, 2 monster groups as well. So there's a lot of potential things we need to cover next week, as there normally is. But we are at hot takes, fuego questions, and sometimes salty statements with Harold. I think I'll go get Cousin Harold now. Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if Harold also watches hockey.
He looks like a fan. Yeah.
He looks like a fan. Yeah.
You might be into that.
I feel like he's more of like the UK hooligan type, like
UK hooligan
beat you up if you stand the other team kind of deal.
Sports. But the weekly hot take is, well, there's a statement and a hot take, but the statement is
yes, Harold.
These days, an idol's dance skill seems to be more important than vocal or rap talent. We know Warren is not talented in anything, So, does the crew think this is a positive or negative shift in K-pop? I like the BTS album. I don't know what Warren's thinking. He's crazy. You know,
I said I like it. Oh my goodness.
You know who's the rookie of the year? Me. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So actually, Harold's debut was 2019. So he doesn't,
He doesn't
he
qualify?
can't apply. He missed his chance. It was last year. And
All
it
right,
passed by. So what you gonna
to
do?
reiterate what Harold said, so there's a statement and a question. The statement is, these days in idols, dance skill seems more important than vocal or rap talent. Does the crew think this is a positive or negative shift in K-pop? This was suggested by someone, not us, and I'm gonna have to look up who said it because I feel kind of bad that I
Oh
didn't
my
write it down. Hold on,
Harold.
Warren, you start us off. How do you feel about this?
Me
Okay, well, look, I personally, as someone who thinks music is the core of the industry, I'm not super excited about the shift. I've noticed it. And I will say I agree with the statement, right? Like, I definitely think there is a bit of a shift. Not really a fan of it, because there has been cases where I listened to the track, without the music video, and I'm going, all right, there's 13 vocals on this thing? How? Like, because sometimes it'll sound like there's 7. Like, 13 and 7 are numbers I pulled out of my butt. They're not references to actual groups. See, like, there are instances here and there where I feel like musically they're not persuasive enough. And this applies to my favorite group as well, Rocket Punch, where, like, several times I listen to their song and I'm like, okay, like, I feel like they could improve a little bit here. And while I appreciate that they're working on their choreo to, make their performance complete, I would prefer it if, we still had a firm basis with the singing and the dancing. Singing and the rapping component of the performance.
I was gonna
What
let
do
you
you
finish, but you already finished. But this question / take was brought to us by Kesh. So shout out to
There we
Kesh.
go.
Thank you.
Okay, Cash, thank you.
Yeah, Anita, what do you feel about this one?
Well, I'm a little biased because I really enjoy
You're a dance
choreography.
bias.
Yes, I am. I like the
You're a choreo
performance.
stan.
Yes, choreo stan. And I find it like it's a very nice aspect of Korean pop music. The fact that almost, I want to say, like all title tracks tend to involve the choreography. The difficulty, I guess, varies on the group and like what they're going for, but it's there. Like, it's a staple, right? And that's kind of what they've been known for a while now. And I think it's not a negative shift to have that focus because it makes it stand out in a way. I feel like with Western pop or just pop in other areas of the world, it, like, dancing, yes, it can also be included, but for K-pop, it's so, how should I say, like, it's so intricate or so complex now that it's not like, not everybody can do it or perform it as the artist would. So it sets it apart, it makes it unique. So I don't know. I personally don't think it's a negative shift. Do I think it should be the only focus? No, for sure no. Because I think both vocal and rap talent should also rise as well. And I think they have for the most part. I think if we compared most songs 10 years ago, vocally and rap wise, I feel like there has been an improvement. Maybe not
I totally
as
agree
big
with that as well. Yeah.
as choreography, but yeah, I don't think it's negative that the shift has been going to dance particularly.
How about you, Doug?
Okay. Let me stop trying to make my fire in my cave over here, what? Making cave paintings as I am a caveman. Okay, number 1, there's definitely a shift. I think that's fairly obvious to me, at least. Number 2, do I think this is a positive or a negative shift? I think it's a little of both. I think it's a negative shift because at the end of the day, we're trying to make music, and although I know a lot of K-pop is based on fan participation, we are still trying to improve the genre, and having bad music doesn't improve the genre. So that's
That's true.
one way to think of it. Number 2, though, as I've previously stated in the past, I think dance is like a critical component of K-pop that really
Yeah.
sets it apart from everything else. The visual aspect, not only in dancing, but also like the look of idols is a thing. You know how we emphasize how idols look so much.
It's a very visual medium.
And
Yeah.
you know, I'm someone who has always learned better visually than through.
Same.
No, like seriously, like I am a visual learner, not like a like from reading or listening, audio, whatever that is. Because I'm that type of person, like YouTube had like this is an aside, but like YouTube has been very helpful in me learning things in general, like diagrams, things like that. Because I'm like that, I really focus on performance, dance, and visuals probably more than I do the vocals, if I'm to be honest. And for me, on a personal level, I like this because the dancing's like, although I kind of missed the era where dances were kind of simple and there was point dancing, right? We've talked about it ad nauseum before. I do like how the dances are way more complex and weird now, like weirder than in a good way. Like they doing weird moves,
Challenging, yes.
like the Black Mamba leg thing, or like when was that gonna be a thing, right? Other than 2020, right? That's I think a really good example of that. But is it a positive shift? For me, yeah. Yeah, I like the performance art. As someone who tap danced for a long time, if you didn't know that, I tap danced from, well, I did other dances, but I tap danced from 5 to 18. Dancing was a pretty big part.
13.
I still dance way more than vocals because I think there are a lot of groups and examples which I will not name where the vocal talent does not have to be A+ or S tier, and you could still have a really good and successful group, but the dancing needs to be pretty high.
I mean, okay. What else? To be honest, I've played violin for over 10 years. I don't remember the exact ages, but I played in orchestras for a long time. And even there I can say there's a strong visual component where like if you sway your body very dramatically while you play, like everyone's like, wow, you're so good. Even if you're bad, like if you sway like really dramatically.
Express.
Every time I do that, Doug's
Yeah.
like, wow, Warren, I didn't know you could play the violin that much. I'm very surprised.
I'm on the record stating that Warren's most attractive when he plays the violin. I've said that in the past.
Shame, I
Yeah.
quit. I should pick it up again.
You should. You should.
That being said, I do think and this has been more of a recurring trend recently as well, where there doesn't seem to be a lot of emotion in the vocals or the rap.
That's fair.
And I know that comes down to very personal tastes and like how much you're willing to feel something when you're listening to music. I get that, but at the same time, it is getting to a point where like, sure, I think having good choreo is really cool and creates a very visually exciting experience. But I want to feel something when I'm listening to the song. I don't want to feel like Tintin the robot. Like I don't want to be filming iRobot over here. Like what's the guy's name that was in I Am Robot? iRobot?
Will Smith?
Oh,
Will Smith. Yeah. Look, I don't want to be Will Smith talking to these tracks. Like I want to feel something. Like
as someone
that doesn't make any sense.
for me, as someone with no heart or emotions, though,
What? Doug.
you know, I was thinking about it. I don't really listen to music for the emotional experience. I don't think.
I feel like for me,
really don't.
it has to do with the genre of the music. Because,
Fair.
I mean, at the end of the day, this is
That's
pop,
fair.
right?
That's fair.
So it's not, I don't expect it to be like heart-wrenching and like super emotional most of the time. And I feel like you could find it here and there too. Like if you go to the B-sides in the album, like you can find songs that maybe focus more on that. But for title tracks, I don't think it's usually there. I don't expect it to be there all the time. I tend to go to other genres.
Are you telling me that Bouncy did not hit you right in the feels, Anita?
Bouncy bounce.
Not quite.
Like when they said, "I want to hit you with that rocket punch," didn't it punch you in the feelings, Anita?
Why? Skirt.
Not
One second,
quite.
excuse
Not
me.
quite.
Okay.
I'm also wearing red today, per the bouncy.
What?
What?
The bouncy visual concept was very red, and I'm wearing red. It's a coincidence, but anyways, I can see that. But the counter argument there would be, at the same time, I've seen a lot of K-pop tracks that have a lot of emotion behind it, as well as other countries' pop music as well.
Yeah, it
but
can
at the
happen.
same time, it's also fair to say it's not like it was any different 12 years ago. To
That's
be frank.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's not like I listened to Poppy Poppy by Tiara and went,
Exactly.
wow, like, my heart is drowning in tears. Like that's not happening.
I also think it's good to remember that when we're saying that like dance is more emphasized now, it's not to say that everything else has gotten bad or stayed the same. Everything's
No,
better
no.
now.
That's true.
right?
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just that like there's like a one-upsmanship in terms of not only dance but for performance level now in K-pop. I think it was super evident in Queendom and Road to Kingdom specifically.
Yeah.
Like who could pull off the most elaborate concept? Like that seemed to be one of the major things that was going on in that show.
It also was, even though I don't like to talk about the show anymore, like watching Produce, right? There was always a singing team and then a dance team.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, wow, okay. For me, that was kind of a shocker because at that point I realized, wow, like this is as important as the singing part. Whereas previously I had always thought singing comes first, then the choreo. But I think I realized that that's where I realized that the shift was happening. I guess I'm being persuaded that it's not so bad after all. Yeah.
Well, here's something though, some food for thought. I think you can hide subpar dancers in K-pop, but you can't hide subpar vocalists.
Okay, yeah,
Unless-
I agree with that.
I mean-
agree with that.
Would hiding count as like they just don't get a line?
Well, I mean, but that's obvious though. You know what I mean?
At
Like
that point, you're like, why?
if I'm like a mad dancer, like just shove me in like the back of the formation. We good, right?
Right.
But if I'm like a terrible singer and you still got to give me some lines eventually, right? Like
Yeah.
people gonna know that I suck, right? Like let's be real here. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just maybe that's another take in the future, obviously. But I think it's just some food for thought. But overall, I guess the crew is like, we're a little neutral to positive of this change. I think Warren was convinced a tiny bit. I know Anita and I are more on the positive side because I think it really comes down though to what you specifically watch K-pop for. Are you watching it for the
Yeah.
music? Then you probably think there's a negative shift. If you're someone who likes dancing and performance but think the music's just like a part of that, then you probably think this is a positive shift. But at the end of the day, though, it is an evolution in the genre, and we'll have to see what happens next because, these AIs might have perfect pitch, right?
Oh.
So
Oh.
who really knows what's going to happen, right?
Vocalize. Here we go.
But, all right, State of the Nation. Let's let Warren go first in this. Do you want to go first?
Oh, sure. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't
I'll
have
go
much this week.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had two things I wanted to discuss. Okay. Well, two things I wanted to mention. First one is a album called CC by Choya LB. If you remember, he was on Show Me the Money 8 last year. Didn't really make it that far. Actually, he got to the first round of the actual competition, so I guess that's pretty cool. His album CC stands for Campus Couple.
Oh.
And the entire album's narrative is based. The first couple tracks is like, oh, like I'm in love with this girl. She's amazing.
The
and
beginning.
then immediately, right? The beginning is like that, and then immediately she's like, well, the breakup sucked.
What?
I still have to go to class.
Oh.
I'm gonna
That's
hear her
quick.
voice when they're doing attendance. Like time
Oh.
goes on. I still gotta do my classes. There's a literal verse in one of the tracks where he goes like, oh, like the professor doesn't care. Your GPA doesn't care about your life. Because it keeps moving on. And then he picks up cigarettes. He picks up smoking because his ex was like, I think I like you a lot because you're not a smoker like these other Korean
So the
guys. And he's like,
opposite.
yo, he's doing the opposite. He's doing one of those, right? Like,
Ah.
and then it eventually devolves into like, I've wasted so much money on cigarettes where like I've wasted more money on you, that kind of deal. And like eventually it gets to the point where like, oh, I heard you're getting married, It reaches the 28-year-old Che LB where he's like, a lot more mature, but he's like he hasn't forgotten about his first love, like he's like, oh.
Oh, dang.
So
Dang.
it's one of those albums that is very narrative driven, but I still think there's a lot of experience you can get out of it just by listening to it acoustically. and this kind of boils down to some of the future plans I have with us, SojuTalk.
Oh. Oh.
You're just dropping things. All right, go.
I know. I've been wanting to do a little more with the YouTube medium video essays and whatnot. One of the potential ideas, well, one thing I'm working on right now is something about Twice and how they did their pivot. But another couple of ideas that I want to work on is these albums where I think it's very narrative driven, which Anita and Doug probably won't understand, nor does a lot of our audience.
But we might learn.
Right. Instead of
I am a
blankly
visual
recommending
learner.
these things-
There you go.
There you go. Okay. So instead of blankly recommending these, I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of break them apart a little bit, kind of like Rap Genius style
Analysis.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the stuff the stuff I want to do. I'm mentioning this now because I want to commit to it this time around.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's
There's been a lot of drawing boards, but not a lot of products. Let's just say that.
I don't think I should spoil anything, but yeah.
Don't.
We'll get results soon. I promise.
Cool.
Cool. Should I move on to the second topic?
Sure.
Yes.
It's Show Me the Money 9.
Nice.
Okay, that's
What's going on with
impression
them?
of one of the guys. That's MC.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, we did the song release missions last week around. There were there were 8 teams, 2 teams competing for each track and each beat, right? So it was basically teams of 3, right? And then 2 teams of 3 would compete for 1 beat from each producer, right? Does that make sense, Anita?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have that much to say about the songs we have right now so far. I will say though, VVS by Just This and Groovy Room, and the people that rapped on it, and people who won on it is Mush Venom, Mirani, Munchman, and Kundi Panda.
Oh.
Man, that is the banger of a track.
That
It's doing
lineup.
really well. On the music charts right now, I think it was last time I checked, it was number 6 on Melon. And look, we're not idols. Number 6 on Melon means it means a gigantic amount, especially when BTS is back, dude. I have no idea. You have no
Yeah,
idea how
I'll check
crazy
it
this
out.
sounds to me. It's a great track, and once you see the live version they filmed, Mush Venom's like his like upbeat like ho ho ho, 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 okay kind of deal. He just comes in, and it's like really funny. So I highly suggest you check that out. Another thing that I thought was really cool was this track called One Hae. I don't know the English title yet. I don't think it's on Spotify yet. But the people who rapped on it was Layone, Kaki, Swings, and Mac Daddy. It's beat from Code Kunst.
All
Now,
right.
I will say, for the competition, it was Layone, Kaki, and Swings on one team. And these are people you probably have never thought of together, you know? It's like butter, and then kimchi, and then some pasta. But turns out you put those together, sounds kind of good, not gonna lie. So that's
Kimchi
my other
pasta.
recommendation of a YouTube video that you might want to check out. That little performance clip. Whew, man, quite a banger. Layone, he was this young kid who just raps like whatever, and then he's really good. And then Kaki does his
Yeah.
Kaki looks like he could be an idol, not gonna lie. And then you have Swings doing his like, you know, his veteran things. I thought that was
His swing
pretty-
thing.
Right. His swing. He was swinging. Yeah. What? Anyways, that's the end of my blurb. Please go check out. Please follow me on Twitter. Legends say.
Promo?
Yeah. Legends say that your grades will they will increase dramatically, you know, if you follow this Twitter account. In fact, people have said that their constipation has gone away after following my Twitter account.
What?
So if you or your friend is suffering from constipation, highly suggest.
All right.
All right.
Interesting
go.
promo right there.
Yeah. Doug, do you have anything to say for State of the Nation today?
Not really, to be honest. Let's see. I've been watching a show called Gamsung Camping. Gamsung Camping. There's no English name. Gamsung means like it means like emotions or like feelings, right? Like you know that kind of. That's what Gamsung means. The cast is Park Na-rae, An Young-mi, so they're comedians. Park Na-rae is probably the top female comedian right now in Korea. Park So-dam, who's the actress from Parasite.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
And then Solar from Mamamoo and Naeun from A-Pink. And they go camping. And it's just chill. And they cry a lot because they have feels. Because there's a thing called like bulmong when you just like stare at a fire and you're like looking into your soul. They just like vent a lot at each other. Like not in a bad way, but they release the feels.
Yeah,
and they talk about their struggles, and it's kind of therapeutic for them, and as a viewer, it's kind of therapeutic to watch because you could really feel that the struggles these people go through, particularly the idols. They go through some stuffs.
They go through a lot.
Like they talk about how like they're so busy, their only friends are in the group. But once the day's over and you're done working, you don't want to keep talking to them because you've seen them all day. But then you got no one to talk to because the last 5 years you've only hang out with your group. So who do you talk to? That's like one of the concerns that they kind of have, and it kind of makes sense if you think about it, right? So things like that. But overall, check it out. It's funny, you know. It's literally Park Na-rae, and like she just basically controls the show and does what she wants. So it's just funny. Other than that, the Eyes One album, I'll probably end up buying it, but it's really expensive. I gotta buy 3 of them again. It's like $80 with shipping.
You don't have to, Doug.
I kind of have to though. What do you mean we're almost done. I have all the other Korean ones. I kind of have to.
Yeah, they're not gonna stop after this one. They're gonna keep dropping albums.
I made some mistakes. I should have just bought one each time like I did with Twice. Let's be real here. Well, I'm kind of committed, so you know we'll burn a hole in my wallet a little. You know we don't got a lot of stimulus checks in America though, so you know. So that's a
lot of politics commentary today.
Yeah, it is what it is. Other than that, I've been watching tons of LOONA videos. You know, I think they're just kind of funny kids in general. And obviously, because LOONA is still underrated as a whole, I don't think people realize how like weird they are, in a good way. So I like to watch their stuff. I also like to watch Dreamcatcher's behind the scenes stuff because for a group that has such a dark and hard concept, they're all kind of dorks. So that's a thing. What about you, Anita?
I haven't been doing much specifically. I think within.
How do you like the Resonance Part 2? That was the thing.
I haven't actually gone through all the songs yet.
Okay.
I listened to the medley, and just based on the medley, right? I'm not too sure yet. Hopefully by next week, I can also give like a little review of the album. But I think I like this one more than the first part. Just from what I listened to from the medley. But aside from that, I've been watching some SHINee content because so Minho.
Wait, I watch SHINee content too.
Yeah, Minho returned from the army not too long ago.
Oh my god.
There's
Anita,
been some funny stuff.
Anita, can I see if I'm gonna mention something that you know about?
Okay, yes. Go
There's a whole long clip of Taemin trying to speak English.
Yes, yeah.
It is so funny.
His confidence in English skills has risen since SHINee was together.
It's so funny.
But
no, in a good way. Okay, here's the thing.
Funny.
Okay.
Key is basically fluent in English.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, pretty much.
Right. Okay.
And Minho and Onyu, they're just kind of chilling. They kind of like they're the type of Koreans. They kind of know what people are saying in English, but they don't really have the confidence to speak it.
Okay.
Taemin is the complete opposite. Even if he's gonna make mistakes and choose weird words to use, he's like, I'm just gonna speak English. He started off by saying like, guys, I've been studying English. I'm good now. And then it just goes from there, and he's choosing awkward wording, and it's funny, and Key is just losing it the entire time.
Yes.
And it made me feel good that SHINee's back together. That was the main feeling I got from it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the stuff that I've been watching a lot. Like
it's
I think
so funny.
Key did like a Instagram live or a V live. I don't remember what it was. I saw clips. I didn't see the whole thing, but basically they're just talking, and then I think Taemin had like a behind the scenes of like a backstage thing, like his last stage for IDEA, like promotions, and how the members showed up. to congratulate him, and then Minho shows up like right after being discharged
In uniform.
In
He shows up in uniform.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did he just get unpacked?
Yeah, literally.
Oh man.
So
But
he
it
just
was
came
fun.
back and he shows up and then they do the English thing. Like literally he's in uniform still and Tim is
Yes.
just speaking English for like 10 minutes straight. It's
Yeah,
so
but
funny.
it's nice. I mean, they haven't said it like outright, but I'm pretty sure that they have stuff
Right
planned as a
away,
group.
it seems like it.
Yeah, and hopefully they get to do it before. I mean, there's still plenty of time, but before Timon decides to enlist as well, he's still got time. But just in case, it'd be nice to get something maybe early next year. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
So you're hoping for a comeback as a group, and then Taemin goes off to the.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be
He's
nice.
a 93, so he's 27. So he would.
Yeah.
He still has time.
He's
Kind of,
got
yeah.
some time. So, but hopefully, since we got like the 3 oldest right now out of the army, like done with the service, so hopefully they have more time and they can prepare something.
Yeah, I think even if Taemin goes to the military, they'll still have things to do. You know, like Minho has a great acting career.
Yeah.
You know, Key's very active on Variety, and then Onyu's been doing musicals. So like they still have
Yes.
stuff. It's just a little sad as a Shawol, right, Anita, that you might
Yeah.
not get the 4 and get content that way. I could see that though. I think we're sort of done with the pod.
Pretty much.
Let me get meta real quick.
Okay.
Let me just be honest with everyone.
Okay.
Episodes when big groups come back, this is not exclusive to BTS. When any big group comes back, are more stressful inherently, right?
Yeah.
There's a weight of expectations about what we're going to say, and we also get higher viewerships of people who aren't familiar with us. And what we're saying is their first experience with watching us, and sometimes you don't get our comedy or you don't get what we mean particularly well.
Context, yeah.
And once in a while, we get some angry comments, some salt, sprinkled all over the place. We get sometimes too much daily sodium on certain days. That being said, I think at the end of the day, they are entitled to not be happy with our commentary as much as we're entitled to have our opinions on specific artists and their releases. I think it's a two-way street on that. Yeah. Now, do I think sometimes people overstep and write really mean things for no reason? Sure, right? But at a reasonable level, I personally believe that everyone should be able to have an opinion, whether it's good or bad, about everything. As long as you're not saying anything too ridiculous that doesn't logically make sense.
As long as you're not being rude about it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Be nice, people.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, if you're angry about what our opinions are, they're just our opinions. Not like it matters. It's just
That's honestly the truth. It really doesn't matter.
this is just our opinions, right?
But yeah, so so basically what I'm trying to say is this week has been a little I know I'm sleeping well lately, but I only slept well after I felt well prepared for this week's episode. But it's on the prep side, it's a little bit stressful because I gotta do a little bit more legwork than usual for these types of episodes. But I do think it went well this week. I normally don't say I'm more of a negative Nancy. I'm normally a positive person, but in terms of the pod, I'm pretty negative, I would say. Most weeks, I think because I'm a perfectionist specifically with the pod, and I say we could have improved X, Y, and Z. I hope you enjoyed the content this week because I think we tried really hard, and I think we were somewhat entertaining. Do you have anything to say?
I'm a natural pessimist.
Yeah.
Yes, we
be
know
very
this,
frank,
Lauren.
My MBTI results. I am an INFJ. One of the key features of an INFJ is that they are pessimists. I don't see it as pessimism, to be honest. I think it's strict honesty.
That's
Look,
what a pessimist would say.
I'm just being real with y'all. Look,
Yeah,
look,
but-
and with even given that aspect, I think everything's all right.
Yeah. I also just want to say we try hard to provide good content, so hopefully it shows because a lot of time invested into this. But in terms of next week, right?
Yes.
Probably NCT, Chungha, but the collab single might not be really traditional, so that's a maybe. But Kai and Hypin got 7 NCTs probably for sure, I would say.
Probably, yeah, man.
We'll have to see with the Chungha because we have to see what she gives us with the first pre-release because it could be something crazy. But This has been Soju Talk, your weekly shot of K-pop. I'm Doug. I'd like to thank Warren and Anita for joining me this week. I don't know why I'm doing that, but it's been a really long episode. I think we're hovering near 2 hours this week. Hopefully you enjoyed it, but we'll see you guys next time with more content. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Also, fill out the rookie survey in the comment
Yes.
section.
Yes, do that.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Special shoutouts to our Fiesta patrons: Based Mina, Jenai, Gogumama, Jacob, Malfiar, NJ Parks, Chris, Nab Wilson, Tier. Thank you for joining SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. And special thanks to our Discord server mods: Jacob, K Music Erday, Koala, Malfiar, Max, No Bias LOONA, Tuggles, and Wolf297.